Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. My name is Jen, and I'm your Tuesday host. Now, we are on Season 8, Week 4, and the topic is all about crystals. Now, I don't know what everyone else is going to talk about when it comes to crystals. I don't know if they're going to talk about their favorite crystal or what, but I know I'm not going to talk about my favorite crystal because we would be in big trouble. Uh, I love crystals in general. Whenever I go to purchase crystal, it's not so much that, okay, well, I'm looking for a specific crystal to do this. When I go looking for crystal, it's normally I'm looking for crystals that I don't already have in my collection because I enjoy learning about crystals. Just the same way that I love learning about herbs, I will purchase herbs just so I can learn about them because I want to know what they look like. I want to know what they smell like. I want to know, everything about that herb just as I want to know everything about that crystal. Now, having said that, there are some crystals that are very expensive, moldavite being one of them. And so one of the ways that you can learn about a crystal without having to purchase it is by books, going online and doing some research. The Book of Stones is a good resource. The Crystal Bible 1, 2, and 3 is another great resource. And if you want to work with a crystal, like moldavite, you can actually find a picture of that online, print it out, and then work with that crystal in that format. So, that is one way to kind of work with a crystal that you don't have in your possession. Now, crystals come in many different types of formats. They come in mala beads or prayer beads, meditation beads. They come in tumbled formats. They come in rough. They come in crystal skulls. They come in bowls. They come in angels or animals. They come in this format. They come in tower format. They come in with pictures of animals on them. They come in this format, which I have it upside down. And this is actually a jasper. But you can get them in arrowhead format. You can get them with the chakra symbols or the Reiki symbols. You can get them with like this, which are just points. You can get them where they look like this, where it's a seer stone. This is what it looks like on the other side. You can get them in candle format. You can get them in chip format. You can get them in palm stones, towers, wands. They come in many shapes and sizes. You can get them in a ball format. You can get them in a dragon's egg. Like I said, there's many different ways that you can purchase crystals. And there's numerous places that you can get crystals. You can purchase crystals online. You can purchase crystals, at different metaphysical shops. If you go to flea markets, sometimes you will get lucky and find different crystals. I know I have. In the past, people didn't know what the crystals were and they were selling them, and I was like, I'm purchasing those crystals, and I have done that before. You can get them in a pendulum if you like. They also come in necklace format, ring format, earrings, bracelets. However you want them to come, they will come. So there are many different types and many different shapes and sizes, so it's really up to you. Now, do I have a preference to one? Not really. I don't. If I can only find a crystal in raw form, then I'll get it in raw form. If I can only find it in tumbled form, then I will get it in tumbled form. Now, my very first crystal that I ever had was actually a tiger's eye, and I actually found that crystal when my family and I were at a beach where I grew up. and I actually found it in the sand, and I had that thing for years and years. And then when I left where I was living, the person who was there actually kept my crystal and would not give it back to me. So I no longer have that crystal, but that's okay because I've since replaced that crystal. And that's kind of got me hooked. From there on, I was always in love with different crystals and rocks. I mean, in the summer, we would be camping or wherever we were at, and everybody else was doing one thing, and here I am collecting rocks and, different things. And my friends and I, over the summer, we were in Arizona, and so we were seeing the Grand Canyon, and Shauna and I were looking for rocks after we had seen, we did go and see the Grand Canyon and check all of that out. And so we had, a few minutes left before we had to get back on the tour bus and be heading in a different direction. And so we were looking for different rocks, and we picked up some rocks while we were there. So I have, amongst all the crystals, I do have regular rocks like this. So I do have those too, and I do like to have those around. I keep those on my altar as well. So what are ways that you can use crystals? Actually, just as there are many different kinds and many different shapes, there are many different ways that you can use crystals. It's really up to you and what you decide, or how you decide you want to use them. Now, you can use them on your altars, which is what I like to do. I like to use a lot of crystals on my altars. And I have several altars, so every altar has crystals. I have crystals downstairs by my desk where I work. I have crystals on my tarot cards. I put crystals in my plants in my gardens. I use them as offerings. I can, I use them in incense blends. If I'm going to create an incense blend, I might put them in there. I have before. You can use them in oils. You can use them in so many different things. Even my friend Melanie, I think she said she uses, smooth ones in soaps. So that's another, great way to use crystals. Now, I like to put them in a little mojo bag like this when I go on investigations, and I take them with me, or other locations. It doesn't have to be an investigation. Now, I don't take the same crystals every single time. There are many crystals that I like to work with, so I will take whatever crystals I happen to be working with at that point in time. I will take them and put them in my bag, and I'll take them with me. But I also take herbs. Herbs also go in this bag, and so it will either stay in my purse, or I may put that in my pocket, or it may go in a paranormal bag that I happen to be carrying with me that has a lot of my things that I need, and that would be my camera, that I'm carrying with me, or it may be my dowsing rods that I have with me, and so that's kind of what I like to do with them. Now, I also carry them in my pockets as well. It's not uncommon for me to go to the store and have, different stones in my pocket. So that's one thing I like to do. Now, if I'm going to be doing some crystal grid work, then I will, sometimes use this. I actually made this crystal grid. I made this one as well. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. There we go. But I use that. You can actually just print one off from the internet, or you can create your own. If you only have a certain number of crystals and you want to really amplify the energies of a crystal, you could actually use something like this. It's just a mirror, and place those crystals on that, and it actually will amplify it, because it's like it mirrors the back, obviously. So instead of seeing 3 crystals, you may be, it's like having the energies of 6. So that's another great way to use them. As a Reiki master, I use crystals when I'm doing Reiki work. Now, even on myself, if I'm going to be working on a specific crystal, let's say that I'm going to be working on the heart chakra, I may choose a pink crystal, I may choose a green crystal, and I will, you know, either hold it in my hand if I'm only going to be working with that particular crystal, or I may place it on my heart chakra itself. Now, when I'm going to be placing it on my heart chakra, it's normally I'm just kind of relaxing, and I'm either laying down upstairs or I'm laying down on the bed, and I will place that crystal on my chest. Now, I have worked with all of my chakras at one time, and I've taken each crystal and I've laid it on the side of where I'm next to me, and then one by one I will place the crystals on my body where it needs to go, and I will do some chakra work in that manner. And you can do the same as well. If you are sitting, one of the things that you can do, you can tape the crystal to you if you want, or do what I normally do if I'm going to be doing different chakras. If I'm going to be doing more than two, then I will just put them in like a circle around me, and I will work with the chakras in that manner. And so that's one way or another way of doing some chakra work. So, you know, crystals are fun to work with. They have a lot of great energy, and you know, I don't know how you guys work with your crystals or anything else, but I would love to hear about how you work with them, and I'd love to hear about how you discovered your first crystal. You know, what was that moment? Do you remember what your first crystal was? So if you have a favorite, you know, tell me what your favorite crystal is, and be sure to watch everybody else's videos on crystals. And yeah, that's really all I have for today. So until next time, I will see you next week, and have a great day. Bye.